Hi there. I guess first of all, I'd like to wish all the mothers out there a very happy, healthy, pleasant Mother's Day, because it is, after all, it is Sunday, the 9th of May, which is Mother's Day. Journal 417 should be T plus 768. And as promised, I'd like to talk about this idea of remission and kind of the difficulties that I'm having working my way through it. And I know that doesn't sound altogether sane, but I'm not sure I'm altogether sane after everything I've been through. So I guess it fits. The problem that I had was that I was really focused on getting that done at the very beginning of the week. But I had technical difficulties with the problem that I used to record the videos, and that gobbled up the time dealing with support calls and technical support, like black holes gobble up, galaxies. The fact of the matter is I probably wasn't ready to talk about it anyway. I'm still not sure I'm ready to talk about it now. I'm having, well, let me explain what's happening. I kind of likened it to buying a new pair of shoes. And in most cases, you need to wear those shoes for a while before they break in and they feel comfortable. Because they don't feel comfortable at first in general. They may look good. You may want to wear them, but the fact of the matter is they still don't feel right until you get used to them, until you break them in. So I started working my way through the discomfort I was having with this whole idea of remission. And I started to try and define it before I went any further, recognizing that definitions are really nothing more or less than descriptions, right? Of that which you wish to describe. And I came to the conclusion that there are three ways this can work. I mean, you can look at it from the perspective of how we define ourselves. You can look at it from the perspective of how we are defined by others. And probably the most complicated is you can look at it from the perspective of how you think, how you perceive others see you. As we become more mature, we try and find an image of ourselves that's more consistent with who we are and who we want to be. But when we're younger, a lot of that self-image is part and parcel a result of how we see others reacting to who we are and what we do and how we act. Before I was diagnosed, I had a pretty good idea what that was all about. I mean, I did. I was a husband, and I was a father. I was a business owner, a trade journalist, an educator, seminar facilitator, keynote speaker. I mean, you could just add all the different things to the list. And all of us go through the same kind of thing where there are so many different facets, so many different components to that which we do. When all of a sudden I found myself suddenly defined as a cancer patient, and a terminal cancer patient at that, I'd be lying if I didn't tell you that it took years to reconcile myself with that definition. And I'm not sure I ever did, frankly. Then, almost as suddenly, I wound up becoming a stem cell bone marrow transplant recipient. Candidate first and then recipient. And which really is another externally imposed kind of definition or description. And now, just as suddenly, I'm in remission. Now, it's interesting because I spent a lifetime really working hard on trying to come to grips with who I was and make that consistent with who I wish to become, when all of that was just ripped away from me. And multiple times, first as a cancer patient, then as a transplant recipient, and now just as suddenly, that's all gone. And I'm in remission. But I'm still more than a little shaky about what that's all about. Realistically, remission, the word itself, comes from the Latin remittere, and it means to send back or to restore, which I thought that was interesting. Because we don't, well, maybe we do think of remission in those terms, but I didn't until I looked up the definition. And then I realized that's what the prefix RE is all about, the re in remission. It's about going back. And that's deceiving, I think, especially in the circumstance of someone like me, who's trying to make some sense out of all of it. Mostly because I'm not sure you can go back. Nor am I sure you would want to. I think this whole idea of remission, of starting over again, is just that. It's the opportunity to create a new you based upon what you've learned throughout your cancer journey. And hopefully that was a lot about yourself, a lot about others. And it gives you an opportunity to look at the world through a very different, pair of lenses. And for me, I think it's probably to a large degree tethered to this idea, this concept of remission, mission, back to the mission. It's more than that though. It's about building a new you, and that's what I'm struggling with, I guess, and not the act of building a new you, but exactly who will that new you be, especially in consideration of this opportunity to start over. But while I struggle with that, I'm still really curious to see who that new me is going to be all about, who he will become, and what he's capable of, especially now. I'm more interested in moving forward, I think, than moving back. And I'll leave it at that for now. So stay well, take care, stay safe, stay home, get vaccinated if you're not, wear a mask in social, crowded situations. It ain't over till it's over. Thank you and good night.